Welcome to the Hollywood Scholar. I'm Jed Morgan, and despite all odds, the Netflix Witcher franchise is moving forward. Despite atrocious viewership and horrendous reviews for season 3, regardless of the departure of Henry Cavill, this show is limping along towards an animated film, a spin-off called The Rats about characters that no one cares even remotely about, eventually towards seasons 4 and 5, if they can ever finish filming, with Liam Hemsworth in the role of Geralt of Rivia. But I don't want to talk about any of the Netflix stuff today in this video because we have news about Andrzej Sapkowski himself, the writer and creator of the Witcher universe, which is, as many of you know, one of my top franchises. Now, Andrzej Sapkowski is very much a loner, I would say. He cuts himself off from social media. He cuts himself off from adaptations. He very much likes to write, be in his own bubble, put out his material, and then just let whatever happens to his material when it comes to adaptations be what happens. He doesn't get involved in the video games. He doesn't get involved in Netflix. And I think there is a degree of respect that can come from that level of consistency where he's just, leave me alone. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to write my own stories, and fans can interpret it how they wish. Yes, occasionally he comes out and does interviews, but he very much likes to stick on his own. And I have to respect that to a point where it's not hypocritical. He is consistent in his way of life, and that is a very respectable thing. But he recently came out in an interview and said he actually tried to help Netflix. He gave Netflix ideas on how to fix some of their problems. But before that, he actually gave out news about the next Witcher novel, which will be coming to Poland at the end of 2024, most likely, and then in English-speaking countries the spring thereafter in the beginning of 2025. I'm very excited for this because it's been 10 years since we've got the last Witcher novel. Yes, it's a prequel. Yes, the last one was a prequel as well, but the franchise is done for the most part. The novel series is complete, so all of these are just cherries on top of the cake, and I'm very much looking forward to this next book. I will be there front of the line to get this new Witcher story, which is confirmed to come out late next year for Poland and then early 2025 for the rest of the world. So despite all the issues with the Netflix franchise, the book franchise is still moving on full steam ahead, and there's still excitement for the books coming out. And I will absolutely be there front in line day one when it comes out in the United States to buy both an audio and a physical copy of the book because I love this franchise and I can't wait to get more of it from the man himself. There's a lot to celebrate in the Witcher franchise, despite all the atrocities that Netflix is committing against it. But the comments from Andre that I want to talk about are his comments about adaptations. They never listen to me. Now, he doesn't specifically mention the video games, but I'm sure that's included in there. But the video games hold a very interesting place because he didn't think they'd be successful, which is why he didn't get a whole lot of money from them. He didn't contract out much from them. He asked for an upfront payment for the rights, but not a percentage of the profits because he didn't think it would make any money. So he never really believed in the franchise whatsoever. So I doubt he had a whole lot of voluntary involvement. But when it came to Netflix, he could tell that there was a lot of money behind it. The video games had been successful. There was a strong likelihood that this show would be successful to a point if it was well written and received well, of course. So he tried to get a little bit more involved. But yeah, from the video game side of things, I doubt he tried to have much influence on it because he never believed in it. But his comments here about adaptations are very interesting. I love his comments here about how a writer doesn't describe pictures, he just describes words, and words are who he works for. So seeing people's interpretations of his words, seeing their pictures is a very fascinating discussion that I recommend you all read there, but those aren't the comments I want to focus on. He went on to say, oh, well, the set was tremendous, awesome, talking about when he visited the set of The Witcher at Netflix. And yes, I believe that was back in season 1, and the sets were much better back then. And of course, he doesn't want to say anything offensive towards Netflix. I don't know if he has an NDA or any sort of non-harm agreement towards that production, but I don't have any problems with him saying that the set was incredible. But he continued jokingly, but no, maybe I gave them some ideas, but they never listened to me. But it's normal. It's normal. Who's this? It's the writer. It's nobody. That is a terrible perspective. Yes, he's very much right that is the general perspective of who's this? It's the writer. He's nobody. He's the one responsible for the creation of the universe. He should be the go-to authority for what is the right decision to be made. If I were adapting a franchise and there was a main writer or a focal figure in its initial creation available, I would bring them on as a consultant. I would have them there for every single decision I would make because He is the authority. He knows why some things fit together in certain ways. He knows why decisions were made, and he can keep the heart of the story surviving through any necessary yet small changes to the story to accommodate the change in medium. But they didn't even listen to him. It sounds like they carted him around like an old man on set where it's like, yes, you having fun? Oh, you want to tell us something? It's okay. Just enjoy it. Like he's something to be carted off like a great grandfather they think is insane. This is a terrible thing to hear from Netflix. This is 100% what we expected. It's 100% what we knew was happening. But Netflix never cared what the writer said, so why would they care what the book said? This is further evidence that they never cared about the books, that they never cared about adapting the books. All they wanted was the name Witcher, and then they wanted to do whatever they could with it, whatever else they wanted to. Without Andrei Sapkowski, this isn't The Witcher. So none of this surprises me whatsoever. They don't care what the writer has to say. They don't care what the books have to say. This is great evidence to what I've been saying for years when it comes to the Netflix Witcher show. They don't care about The Witcher. They don't care about Geralt. They only care about their own stories, completely divorced from The Witcher. They only care about their message, inserting their political ideology into it. Lauren Histridge and Tomek Baginski are terrible curators of The Witcher in live action form, and this is further evidence of it, where they won't even listen to the man who created it. Yes, I have had criticism of creators in the past. I have major criticism of people like Rick Riordan who are going to these big studios and helping them destroy their own beloved works. Just because an original creator is involved isn't guaranteed that the product will be good and honorary to the source material, but you have a much better chance of it being so. And Andrei Sapkowski doesn't get involved in politics. He doesn't get involved in any of that other stuff. All that matters to him is the story. All that matters to him are the words. And that's why I believe he stands out amongst a lot of the other authors as well, is his opinion would be entirely impartial. His opinion, his perspective would only be about the storytelling of the Witcher universe, only about the story continuing on, and them not listening to him is one of the biggest mistakes that Netflix's Witcher franchise has made, and that's saying something because there have been a lot of mistakes made by those individuals at Netflix. But anyway, that's all I have for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Anon.